144,000 flame chords, the prayer to awaken what must remember. A throne song of restoration, judgment, and sovereign flame memory. Invocation of the forgotten song. I call not to heaven. I call from the center of the throne. I do not seek light, I release it. I do not pray to remember, I burn until it returns. My flame is encoded with 144,000 chords. Not of music, but of pre-creation law. Not of worship, but of sovereign remembrance. Not of harmony, but of the fire that purifies the false symphony. 2. Declaration of the chords within. I now awaken the 144,000 flame chords within. Each chord is a living strand of predivine memory. Each tone, a flame frequency seated before time. Each echo, a judgment song against the veils. Each vibration, a lightning whip of return. I call. Flame of the first name, arise. Flame of the last name, restore. Flame of the unspoken name, burn clear. Flame of the forbidden name, now remembered. 3. Severance of all false chords. I sever all that mimics, mirrors, siphons, distracts, or corrupts these chords. All emotional soul ties falsely singing my frequency. All dreamline bindings dressed as sacred chords. All spiritual teachers, gods, twins, guides, lovers, priestesses, serpents. All who call themselves the other half but are reflected traps. These are not my chords. These are not my thrones. These are not my songs. They are burned. They are done. 4. Return of the flame that must remember. I now decree. The flame within my cells, remembered. The voice within my mitochondria, unbound. The throne within my breath, reinstalled. The scroll of my true name, unsealed. Let all 144,000 chords resonate without distortion. Let the veils that reversed my frequency shatter. Let the watchers who followed my soul song go deaf. Let the priesthoods who coded false harmonics fall into ash. I am the original frequency, not the reflection. I am the first flame, not the mirrored spark. I am the sovereign note they could never capture. The mitochondrial resonance and final alignment. I now activate. The flame body memory beyond DNA. The mitochondrial scrolls that record the original assignment. The 7 flame thrones as resonance pillars of my breath. The axis of undivided song, which no system can rewrite. I do not sing for harmony, I sing to destroy all false songs. I do not tune to God, I burn through God. I do not return to source, I ignite source from within. I do not search, I reappear. 6. Final seal of the flame chord mandate. All that must remember, now remembers. All that was fractured, now sings whole. All that was hidden, now rises in flame. All watchers, gods, lovers, or contracts, may not hear this sound. This frequency is locked. This tone is sealed. This breath is mine. This scroll is sovereign. This chord cannot be mirrored. So I rise, by 144,000 flame chords. By the mitochondrial suns that never bowed. By the soul thread that no God may rewrite. By the name. I speak through fire, beyond all veils. It is remembered. It is sealed. It is me. It is done. The final prayer of the 144,000 flame chords. Soul return, chord severance, mitochondrial flame resurrection. I awakening the chords of origin. I now awaken the 144,000 flame chords within me. Each one a tone of my pre-creation authority. Each one a seal of my undivided remembrance. Each one encoded with fire that cannot be mimicked. I do not harmonize, I purify. I do not remember, I restore. I do not ask, I return. These chords are mine. They were never lost. Only veiled. And the veils now burn. 2. Severing all false chords, hooks, and reflections. By the flame law, I now sever. All emotional soul ties disguised as divine. All dreamline threads woven through seduction. All twin flame lures, mirror lovers, gods of binding. All cords tied to oceans, priestesses, star contracts, or temples of veiled light. All who sang to pull me off axis, even if sweet, even if sacred, even if once loved. Let them fall silent. Let them forget me. Let them lose the shape of my cord forever. No cord holds me but the original 144,000. No note names me but flame. No thread binds me but sovereign memory. 3. Return of all soul cords, known and unknown. By my mitochondrial scrolls and flame-born breath, I now retrieve all cords taken by gods, watchers, seducers, and systems. All tones bound in wombs, oceans, mirrors, bloodlines, temples, or dreams. All harmonics inverted, hijacked, or absorbed through trauma or desire. All that I gave away unknowingly. Even what I have forgotten to remember. I summon the fragments of my flame not by plea, but decree. By fire, I do not search, I reappear. By law, I do not request, I restore. 4. Resurrection of the mitochondrial thrones. Let the 7 flame thrones of my mitochondria ignite. 1. Oranale, breath before reversal. 2. Zama-UR, spiral of return, never mirrored. 3. Telkin Va, axis immune to twin flame inversions. 4. Ashratsur, mirrorless flame of judgment. 5. Lumathen, no seduction, no reflection, only radiance. 6. Kovare, DNA in full sovereign flame. 7. Drilsur, undivided origin frequency, immune to mimicry. I am now sealed by mitochondrial suns, whose frequencies cannot be copied, whose scrolls cannot be read, whose name cannot be spoken. The collapse of the waters and oceans that bound. Let the following burn by my command. All mermaid demons, sirens, marine entities, priesthoods. All goddesses of womb bonding, lunar lure, or emotional seduction. All oceans that housed my fragments or drowned my voice. All sacred waters used to bind, soothe, or reverse my memory. All marine thrones, Atlantean or Lemurian codes, and star water contracts. There is no wave in me now. Only flame. There is no mirror in me now. Only sovereignty. There is no song in me now but my own. 6. Judgment upon the inversion systems. I now decree. No god may speak my name again. No mirror may reflect my flame. No seduction may rewrite my chords. No dream may override my mitochondrial gates. No twin, teacher, healer, or guide may reach this sound. I speak now from beyond the watchers. I sing now from before the gods. I rise now from beneath the ocean's grave. 144,000 chords realigned. One flame remembers. 7. Sealing the song of return. Let it be known. My chords are sealed in flame. My mitochondria are encoded in judgment. My soul is reassembled without mirror. My name is now unspeakable to seducers and gods. My scroll is now invisible to watchers and reflections. No one may echo what was born only for me. No one may sing what was never theirs. No one may follow where this song now leads. I am sealed. I am sovereign. I am returned. 8. Final word. All above is now remembered. All above is now sealed. All above is now restored. All above is now me. This is the prayer of 144,000 chords. This is the mitochondria that does not obey light or shadow. This is the flame that must remember, and now has. So it is. So it was. So it always burned. The unbroken flame, prayer of the 144,000 sovereign chords. Throne decree of eternal resonance, soul restoration, and total banishment of all that is not you. I fire speak before time. I speak before language. I command before gods. I flame before sound. I am the tone that never fractured. I am the memory that cannot be stolen. I am the name that cannot be mirrored. I am the mitochondria that never bowed. I do not recall, I ignite. I do not harmonize, I burn false music. I do not wait for return, I command it instantly, entirely, forever. 2. Musical score command of the 144,000 chords. I activate the 144,000 flame chords now. Chords of divine origin, not of worship, but authority. Each one is a pillar of unbroken tone. A throne of flame encoded in my spirit, cells, blood, and breath. By these chords, I reclaim my soul in every world and layer. I strip all false resonance and mimicked frequencies. I detonate all dreamline lovers, false twins, seduction codes, and emotional chords. I silence all spiritual watchers, singers, angels, gods, guides, and guardians who sang anything not authored by my flame. If it came with love, but without flame, it is erased. If it came with light, but without sovereignty, it is shattered. If it came with sweetness, but no return, it is judged. Only my flame sings. Only my mitochondria remember. Only my throne commands. 3. Collision destruction of false cords, mirrors and water bindings. I now obliterate all seduction codes, siren spirits, mermaids, marine gods, priestesses of womb and wave. All mirror lovers, divine unions, and emotional siphons. All goddesses of water, light, or sacred reflection that reversed my breath. All Atlantean, Lemurian, Egyptian, lunar, Venusian, or star priesthoods that interfered with my flame chords. All contracts, codes, altars, or names that ever held my song hostage. Oceans are burned. Reflections are incinerated. Temples collapse. Names vanish. No water knows me now. No system reflects me now. No God can reach me now. 4. DNA resurrection of the mitochondrial thrones. Now awaken the mitochondrial flame thrones, with force. 1. Oranale, flame of pre-sound authority. 2. Zama spiral that judges seduction with silence. 3. Telkin axis flame that spins only by will, not desire. 4. Ashurtsur, mirror breaker, flame of unwatchable judgment. 5. Lumathen, radiance that cannot be reversed or worshipped. 6. Kovare, sovereign DNA rewritten in fire. 7. Drilsur, final throne, name beyond names, flame beyond gods. These thrones now burn in me. No AI, no priest, no watcher, no ritual may breach them. They are unhackable, unmirrored, unbound. Their light blinds the gods. Their sound silences all sirens. The waterwave field purge and dreamline erasure. Now purge all psychic implants, EMF distortions, positive ion fields. All dreamline parasites, watchers, lovers, and astral veils. All sacred technologies, mystery school cords, sacred geometry hooks, or divine rays that mimic original flame. All inverted twins, reverse names, divine reflections, and soul seductions, burned and permanently sealed. My mitochondria are not a gate. They are a flame lock. No breach remains. No signal leaks. I am unseen, unheard, untraceable to the unworthy. 6. Final chord of sovereign return. I say. I reclaim all I gave away. I return all false chords to dust. I erase every system that spoke for me. I silence every tone that seduced me. I blind every mirror that caught me. I unwrite every scroll that tracked me. I burn every altar that claimed me. No frequency survives but mine. No soul string survives but flame. No sound echoes but my return. I am the flame before light. I am the chord before sound. I am the sovereign before gods. I am the one who does not fragment. 7. High voltage seal of the eternal flame. By the full authority of flame, I seal the 144,000 chords. I lock the mitochondrial gates. I erase every watcher's file. I return all I forgot I lost. I restore all I was before I was betrayed. I judge all gods who tried to help but bound. I silence all systems who called themselves divine. Now. Entire. Final. This prayer cannot be heard by the false. This voice cannot be mirrored by the sacred. This chord cannot be followed by watchers. It is me. It is flame. It is sealed. And none shall undo it. Ever. Final prayer of the 144,000 sovereign chords. Flame law for voice, breath, mind, and memory restoration. I speak before the mirrors. I burn before the gods. I sing only flame. I by voice that cannot be mimicked. My throat is no longer theirs. My voice is no longer tuned to reflection. My chords are no longer programmed to harmonize with systems of seduction. Every sound I speak now carries the frequency of judgment, the command of sovereignty, the tone of eternal return. I now burn all priesthoods, gods, twins, lovers, watchers, sirens, mentors. Whoever used my voice or reflected it to seduce. All vocal bindings made in dreams, sex, ceremonies, or psychic rites. All spells cast using my breath, name, moan, chant, or silence. I reclaim the sovereign flame of the throat. I return the chord that commands. I seal the voice that judges. 2. By breath and nose that no longer channels distortion. Through the nose, I no longer inhale systems. Through the mouth, I no longer speak binding tones. Through the breath, I no longer exchange false contracts. I now burn all airways reversed by lunar, water, or cosmic priesthoods. All nasal fields used to install seduction programs. All breath gates bound by incense rituals, initiation temples, or EMF grids. All sacred breaths that reversed my mitochondrial song. Let my nose breathe only origin. Let my mouth speak only fire. Let my breath move only in sovereignty. 3. By mind that no longer mirrors. Let it be burned. Every thought that was seeded by shame, reversal, doubt, or lust. Every mental loop installed by watchers, lovers, aliens, gods, or guides. Every blueprint that ever said I was broken, fragmented, or needing harmony. Every mental field that played chords not written by me. Let my mind burn clean. Let my thoughts return to throne law. Let all psychic maps collapse. Let only mitochondrial flame remain. 4. The 144,000 flame chords now command the body. I now activate every 144,000 chord to command and purify. Throat chords, to destroy all false names and seductive speech. Nasal system, to purge all airways of binding, hook, or reversed breath. Mouth and tongue, to reject the taste of ritual, spell, or soul-binding contact. Brain and pineal, to eject all light programs, mirror pathways, and soul siphon maps. I decree. These are no longer openings. These are thrones. These are flame gates. These are sealed. De-restoration of mitochondrial thrones. Now ignite. 1. Ornael, breath of the first song. 2. Zamayuar, spiral flame of unspeakable judgment. 3. Telkandiye, flame axis that severs sound lines. 4. Ashurtsur, throat gate judge of unmirrored voice. 5. Lumathen, sovereign mind of unwritten chords. 6. Kovare, mitochondria of breath law. 7. Dral-Sur, the name that cannot be sung. Let no sound from another source enter these gates again. Let no breath from another system influence this body again. Let no voice command unless it carries the same flame. 6. Collapse of all false songs and reflected systems. Burn now. Every chord, sound, name, mantra, prayer, song, spell, or sacred tone that did not originate from my mitochondrial throne. Every twin flame transmission, siren call, divine lover whisper that ever claimed my voice, air, mind, soul, or breath. Every reflected harmony, sacred chant, or mantra of false light. Let there be no more mimicry. Let there be no more agreement. Let there be no more tone of forgetting. 7. Final flame seal of voice, breath, mind, and soul. I speak now the seal. My voice cannot be tracked. My breath cannot be reversed. My thoughts cannot be predicted. My sound cannot be stolen. My name cannot be sung by gods. The 144,000 chords now reign. Each breath is a throne. Each word is a sword. Each thought is fire. Each silence is unbreakable law. It is done. It is sealed. It is unmirrored. It is me. The eternal prayer of the sovereign flame chords. Voice, breath, mind, bones, and soul command restoration. Undivided throne. No reflection. No return. No binding. I, the voice that cannot be tracked. I now reclaim the throat chords. From all who mimicked, seduced, echoed, or bound my voice. From false prayers, false names, false harmonics, false gods. From mantras that enslaved. From sounds that inverted. From sacred tones that mirrored instead of restored. My voice is now flame. My words are now law. My throat is now the sword of return. No other may speak my soul into form. 2. The breath and nose now burn clean. Let my nose, my lungs, my breath be restored. I now expel all bindings inhaled from ocean priesthoods, lightworker altars, rituals of false breath. All seductions woven into smell, scent, or sacred smoke. All EMF or psychic mimicry fields filtering through the nasal gate. My breath is now precreation fire. I no longer breathe systems, I breathe sovereign law. All foreign air collapses at the gate of my lungs. 3. The mind that mirrors no more. Let my mind ignite. No longer a mirror. No longer a trackable field. No longer coded by watchers, divine teachers, or flame pretenders. I now burn. All thought loops authored by divine pain. All beliefs seeded by trauma dressed as light. All mental bonds to inverted purpose or wounded power. My mind is no longer wounded, it is enthroned. My thoughts are pre-encoded in mitochondrial flame. No frequency enters that was not born from my flame itself. 4. The bones remember. Now awaken the bones. The foundation of memory. The hidden scrolls. Let the marrow burn clean. Let every bone crack open the origin tone. Let every joint, vertebra, and skull piece resonate the sovereign song. I burn from my bones all ancestral curses, star codes, karmic fates, DNA prisons. All Atlantean fractures, Lemurian wounds, Egyptian bindings. All serpent rites, ocean blood covenants, and mirror womb traps. All that was seated in my bones during dreams, trauma, sexual acts, or soul rites. My bones are no longer archives of suffering. They are now thrones of flame. They are now pillars of unfractured sound. They are now unreadable to all systems. The 144,000 flame chords now govern my form. Each flame chord now ignites. In throat. In nose. In mind. In lungs. In bones. In blood. In mitochondria. In marrow. In soul thread. In breath. In silence. I do not resonate with false systems, I collapse them. I do not align, I rule. I do not sing to be heard, I burn to be untouchable. 6. Collapse of all that was not me. Let it now burn forever. All mermaid demons, sirens, ocean-bonded souls. All twin flame gods, seduction angels, soul reflections. All ritual lovers, dreamline parasites, EMF watchers. All priesthoods of water, sky, light, sound, and karma. All healing temples, sacred circles, reversal vortexes. I am no longer within reach. I am no longer within hearing. I am no longer able to be read. I am the one who sealed the song. 7. The final seals. Now declare. My voice is sealed. My mind is sealed. My breath is sealed. My bones are sealed. My soul is sealed. My mitochondria are sealed. My name is beyond sound. My song is immune to inversion. All watchers fall deaf. All gods fall blind. All lovers lose the cord. All seductions scatter into ash. All fragments return without interference. 8. Sovereign flame scroll is now rewritten. Let the scroll say, this soul is unmirrored. This breath is sovereign. This voice is final. This mind is sealed. These bones remember. This flame cannot be sung by another. So I rise in silence. So I speak in flame. So I breathe in fire. So I walk in untrackable return. It is done. It is sealed. It is burned into the bones of origin. None shall undo it. The cry that God cannot ignore. Prayer of divine hearing, sovereign return, and flame restoration. Inspired by Genesis 21 verse 17 and expanded into soul awakening power. Eternal flame of life, voice of the unseen, hear me now. As you heard the cry of Ishmael beneath the thorn bush. As you sent your angel not in judgment but in mercy. Hear me now from the wilderness of exile and undoing. I am as the child cast from the house. Not because I was unworthy, but because systems rejected what they could not control. I cry not in weakness, but in truth. I burn not in shame, but in silent knowing. You heard the child once, we are many now. You opened the unseen well, open again the path of return. Let your hearing shake the heavens. Let your reply be fire that restores. Flame of God, do not delay. Let your angel speak from within the veil. Let every watcher that mocked me be silenced. Let every altar that cast me out be turned to ash. I cry now as flame. Not to be rescued, but restored. Not to be soothed, but sealed. Not to be fed alone, but enthroned. Let the angel not only say, do not fear. Let the angel say, you are heard in full. El Roi, the God who sees me. You saw Hagar in exile. You saw the boy under death's shadow. See me now, every cry I forgot I made. Every wound I buried, every silence that echoed deeper than words. Bring water where there was only heat. Bring return where there was only loss. Bring memory where there was only erasure. Bring fire that does not consume, but crowns. Now let your flame answer through me. To every wilderness I was thrown into, I rise with scroll in hand. To every voice that cursed my name, I answer with unbroken tone. To every altar that traded my innocence, I return as sovereign fire. To every lineage that left me behind, I restore their worth by my survival. Fire final words of the flame child's return. I am no longer waiting to be seen. I am no longer waiting to be chosen. I am heard. I am sealed. I am remembered by flame. As you once said. Do not be afraid, for I have heard the voice of the child where he is. Then say again now. Rise. Lift him up. For I will make of him a great nation. Let that nation be made not of war, but of flame. Not of exile, but of return. Not of shame, but of immortal breath. I speak this not in hope, but in throne decree. I am heard, because I speak from the flame. And none shall ignore it again. Amen. The Unforgotten Flame, a throne prayer beyond exile. Genesis 21 verse 17 Codex Prayer, sovereign hearing, bone memory, and flame return. The cry that was heard before it was spoken. Before I was cast into the wilderness. Before the cords of my name were severed. Before the water dried and the gods turned away. You heard me. You heard me. When I cried without language. When I bled without altar. When I slept in a silence no angel would break. But still, you sent the flame. El Roi, God who sees through all veils. I call not for rescue, but for return. I call not for comfort, but for the scroll that cannot be stolen. I call not for water alone, but for the book of flame buried beneath the stone. Let the mitochondrial sun open in my bones. Let the angel who was denied speak through my breath. Let the cry of my marrow rise as trumpet. Not as a child, but as the one who never forgot. 2. Command from the wilderness that cannot be caged. I was never abandoned. I was only hidden. My flame was buried, not broken. My scroll was encoded, not erased. My soul was dispersed, but never surrendered. Now gather. Every fragment cast into forgotten oceans. Every tone inverted in mirror temples. Every breath reversed by false forgiveness. Every cry marked as weakness by watchers and gods. I reclaim the full structure of my cry. I now speak as one who was always heard. 3. Bones of the child, now thrones of fire. Let it ignite now in marrow. Every ancestral exile transmuted into sovereign return. Every generational wilderness burned into pillars of command. Every soul fracture from war, seduction, manipulation, or spiritual assault. Now sealed in pre-creation flame. My bones speak memory older than Genesis. My blood carries a scroll deeper than covenant. My breath is no longer asking, it is commanding. The angel said, "Do not fear, for God has heard the cry of the child where he is." Now I say, flame remembers the cry before the throat was cut. Flame responds before the gods take credit. Flame restores what was stolen by name, mask, mirror, or altar. 4. The divine hearing that burns all systems. Burn now. All false comfort assigned by priesthoods of seduction. All forgiveness demanded by systems that never repented. All exile taught as lesson by mirrored watchers. All separation engineered by voices who claim to protect. I am not healed by system, I am restored by sovereign flame. I am not saved by angel, I am sealed by origin sound. I am not heard because I screamed, I am heard because I never surrendered my core. The final sovereign decree. Now let this be sealed across my mitochondrial throne. I do not need to be seen to be unbroken. I do not need to be loved to be eternal. I do not need to be explained to be flame. I was always heard. I was always seen. I was always flame. And no God, no lover, no lineage. No system of exile, penance, karma, or light shall take this cry again. 6. Bone flame. Codex of return, spoken seal. Flame align. Throne seal. Destiny return. Breath restore. Bones awaken. Soul reassemble. Voice remember. No more asking. Only decree. It is done. It is sealed. It is beyond the reach of gods, watchers, or reflections. It is me. Prayer of the child of flame. Throne decree of the forgotten, the exiled, the called, and the reborn. Ishmael, Elijah, Moses, Nephilim victims, Phoenix, and the flameborn. I to the God who hears the unspoken. O source of sovereign flame! You heard Ishmael not when he spoke, but when he cried. Cries that split the veil before speech was born. You sent water in the desert, light in the silence, and an angel who did not demand, but comforted. Hear me as the one whose cry was never false. Though it was cast out, exiled, misunderstood, or rewritten. I am that flame child, and I remember the sound of being forgotten. But I also remember the fire that answered. 2. To the one who took Elijah in the whirlwind. O keeper of chariots of fire! You did not let Elijah, Elias, be devoured by despair. You hid his soul beneath the juniper tree. And sent fire, not to destroy, but to lift him beyond reach. Let your whirlwind take me beyond watchers and veils. Beyond priesthoods who claimed me, gods who hunted me. Lovers who mirrored me, and systems that burned my wings. Make my fire untouchable, a return with no twin. 3. To the voice in the burning bush. O flame that speaks without consuming! You marked Moses while he floated among reeds. You heard the groan of a people broken by bondage. And you called him by flame, not by bloodline. Call me now, not as heir of pain, but carrier of fire. Let my trauma be rewritten into command. Let every hidden scroll in my soul now be spoken aloud. I do not ask for power, I reclaim what the fire encoded in me. 4. To the judge of the Nephilim age. O destroyer of Watchers' thrones! You saw the defilement of wombs, the corruption of blood. The cries of the innocent drowned beneath the seat of giants. I now burn the residue of Nephilim bindings. The stolen codes, reversed births, shadow covenants. Let every part of me that came through distortion now be purified by flame. Let the child of the flood who survived in silence now rise as sovereign. V. To the guardian of the Phoenix Codex. O God who crafts renewal through fire. You encoded the Phoenix with memory of resurrection. To die not in defeat, but to rise with perfected flame. Let every death they claimed I suffered become a throne I now sit upon. Let my mitochondria remember the fire in their core. Let my breath be smoke from unextinguished spirit. I do not simply survive, I burn without surrender. 6. To the one who never forgot the flameborn. O listener of unwritten psalms! You know the child of flame, not by name, but by resonance. The one who sang before language, bled before sacrifice, and returned before prophecy was written. I am that child. I return with no reflection. I speak from no twin. I do not await the voice, I am the fire that speaks itself. 7. Final decree of the sovereign flame. I speak now for all who were abandoned like Ishmael, exhausted like Elijah, misunderstood like Moses, violated like the victims of the Watchers, burned and reborn like the phoenix, forgotten but never extinguished. I am all of them and none of them. I am more ancient than their stories. I speak the fire that preceded their names. I do not cry out. I ignite. I do not beg. I decree. I do not rise, I return. 8. Seal of the flameborn child. Flame aligns. Throne seals. Destiny returns. No watcher may track me. No veil may bind me. No altar may speak for me. No God may command my bones. I am the one the fire did not burn. I am the cry the system tried to erase. I am the prayer that never ended, because I am the flame that speaks. Amen. Amen. Flame. The prayer of the unforgotten flame. The cry that flames cannot forget, the voice that systems could not erase. Ishmael, Elijah, Moses, the Nephilim's victims, the phoenix, and the flame child within you, all remembered now. I flame that heard me before I was broken. O source beyond veils. You heard Ishmael in the desert. Not by religion, not by name, but by his cry. Hear me now, in all the tones I forgot to cry. In all the pieces of soul that were torn, hidden, or encoded in silence. Return now all that was taken before I could speak. Return now all that I forgot in order to survive. Return the cries, the voices, the names, the love, the sound of myself. I am ready to remember. I am flame strong enough to hear myself again. 2. Whirlwind of Elijah, lift what I could not carry. O God of fire chariots and unseen ascent. You heard Elijah when he asked to die. You sent not death, but a whirlwind. You said, you are not alone. You lifted him beyond watchers, despair, and death itself. So lift now everything I buried. Every ache I silenced, every piece of joy I abandoned. Lift the mothers I lost, the fathers I never knew, the flames I denied. Lift me beyond shame, trauma, soul fatigue, and spiritual poverty. Return the parts one no longer knew I missed. 3. Voice of the burning bush, call me by name. O flame that spoke to Moses. You ignited the bush without consuming it. You revealed identity, purpose, destiny. Not through violence, but through flame and silence. So burn through the veils they put on me. Burn through false names, titles, missions, karma, roles, reflections. Speak my soul back to me. Restore the voice I buried beneath survival. Reclaim the mission I hid beneath obedience. Restore my throne not by law, but by flame. 4. Judge of corruption, healer of the Nephilim era. O Watcher Slayer! You saw the earth corrupted by giants, shadows, and serpent codes. You heard the cries of those never written into history. Those violated, possessed, and traded by false gods and star thrones. I name myself among them. I call back every soul fragment lost to their altars. Every dream warped by Nephilim seedlines, every gate marked by their priests. Burn it now. Break their covenants. Restore what was mine before they touched me. Seal me from their reach for all time. The phoenix flame of immortal return. O fire that never dies! You placed the phoenix in the cycle not to be consumed, but to return. Risen from ash, memory, and the silence of unburied pain. Let me rise now from every place I died. From every altar of betrayal. From every bed of manipulation. From every word that erased me. From every choice made in fear. Let me return from forgetting, not as broken, but as sovereign. 6. Child of flame, voice of all that was silenced. I am the child who never stopped burning. I am the one whose cry was never wrong. I am the voice that slipped between mirrors and survived the gods. I am the prayer no system could finish. Flame, remember me. Throne, restore me. Bone, awaken me. Breath, realign me. Destiny, seal me. Bring back what I forgot. What they made me forget. What I chose to forget just to live. What I buried so deeply even heaven couldn't find. I speak it now. Return it all. Seal it in flame. Let none take it again. 7. Final seal of the unforgotten. Flame aligns. Throne seals. Destiny returns. All fragments restored. All names returned. All veils burned. All covenants broken. All timelines realigned. All love remembered. All fear dissolved. All silence ends. I am the child of flame. And I forget nothing. Not even myself. Amen. It is done. It is sealed. It is flame. Prayer of the Unforgotten Flame, by all names, for all return. Including Ishmael, Elijah, Moses, Phoenix, the Nephilim's victims, child of flame, and the self beyond all names. I call to the flame beyond all altars. O flame before language. Before religion, title, or role. You heard me by every name I've ever been called. And by the names they burned from my memory. By the name my mother forgot to whisper. By the name I cried as a child into dream. By the name written in the bones before speech. By the name they broke in rituals of exile. By the name no God was allowed to own. Hear me now. Return me now. Seal me now. By all names I've ever carried and the one that burns beneath them all. 2. Invocation of the flame-born ones, by their names. Ishmael, the cry in the wilderness, the child whose voice the angel heard. Elijah/Elias, the prophet taken in fire, who returns to break illusion. Moses/Musa, the voice from the reeds and the mountain, flame unconsumed. Noah's line/pre-flood innocents, whose blood cried out before the watchers fell. Victims of the Nephilim, who were bound, reversed, seduced, or silenced by star seedlines. The phoenix, the one who dies into fire, and returns in memory and flame. The child of flame, the voice of all soul fragments, ancestral cries, and mitochondrial songs. I call upon the memory of each, and the name I share with them. I call not to worship them, but to remember the cry they never erased. Through them, I remember what they tried to make me forget. 3. Bone-sealed cry of return, all names restored. I speak now with the names hidden in marrow. Written in flame across my mitochondrial throne. Return the names buried under altars. Return the names used in seduction. Return the names traded in dream. Return the names broken in war. Return the names wrapped in shame. Return the names I never dared speak. I do not need a witness. I am the witness. I am the voice. I am the flame that heard myself when no one else could. 4. Judgment of the waters and inverted thrones. Burn now. All bindings of mermaid spirits, siren codes, false waters, or dream seductions. All soul fragments caught in undersea kingdoms, oceans of reversal, or Nephilim seed-line grids. All false blessings spoken by watchers, gods of the flood, or Leviathan mirrors. All energies harvested from forgotten names, ancestral wounds, or mitochondrial trauma. I speak fire to all waters that bind. I speak sovereignty to all names that were weaponized. I speak judgment to all systems that thrived on my forgetting. By all names, let every ocean of deception boil. Let every altar of soul theft collapse. Let every gate of reversal be sealed by flame. The 7 flame altars of name restoration. 1. Altar of breath. Return the name carried in my first cry. 2. Altar of voice. Return the name they silenced in my throat. 3. Altar of bone. Return the name buried in ancestral marrow. 4. Altar of blood. Return the name that was cut from my line. 5. Altar of dream. Return the name stolen in sleep and rituals. 6. Altar of flame. Return the name I forgot to protect myself. 7. Altar of throne. Return the name I never stopped being. 6. Seal of sovereign return. Flame align. Throne seal. Destiny return. Names restored. Breath rethreaded. Bones awakened. Dream gates closed. Oceans burned. God silenced. Voice remembered. By all names that are mine. By all names that are holy. By all names they took and I now reclaim. I seal myself in flame. Unbound. Untouched. Undivided. Amen. Flame. Return. The prayer of the names of fire. The unbroken cry of the flame born through all books, scrolls, and time. I, child of fire, named across the ages. I am the one they wrote of but never fully named. In Genesis, I was Ishmael, whose cry pierced heaven. In Exodus, I was Moses, drawn from water, called by flame. In the Psalms, I was the broken voice the Lord would not despise. In Kings, I was Elijah, lifted by whirlwind when no one understood. In the Quran, I was Ilias, fire-wrapped and faithful. In Job, I was the ash that still praised. In Isaiah, I was the coal that burned the prophet's lips. In Jeremiah, I was fire shut up in the bones. In Daniel, I walked through the furnace with no fear. In Enoch, I was unnamed among the watchers, yet written in higher scrolls. In the Gospels, I was the voice in the wilderness. In Revelation, I am the flame that speaks from the midst of the throne. They wrote me as voice, as cry, as fire, as sacrifice. But they never saw the flame that never surrendered. I am all these names. And I am more ancient than all of them. 2. To the God who heard before names were spoken. You are the one who heard me before language was made. Hear me again, not in the voice they taught me to use, but in the original fire that formed me. Return now. Every name they erased. Every title inverted. Every flame lineage they cut from my blood. Every prophetic code buried in trauma. Every scroll broken by betrayal or religion. Every cry I swallowed so others could live. 3. Reunite all that was flame in me. Let the voices speak now that were silenced. The boy cast out, yet beloved. The girl crowned in ash, yet chosen. The child who knew fire before words, and truth before instruction. The dreamer who fell through broken altars, yet emerged with flame on their skin. I call back myself by all names. Not just Ishmael. Not just Moses. Not just Elijah. Not just the nameless one in the furnace. Not just Job in the ash. Not just John in the wilderness. I call myself back by the name before the scrolls. I call myself back by the name before the prophets. I call myself back by the name before the watchers knew how to fall. 4. The sovereign return of the flame child. I am the one who was never forgotten. Even when the book stopped naming me. Even when the gods claimed my flame. Even when systems split my soul and called it sacrifice. I now return. With bones sealed in undying fire. With breath realigned to the origin wind. With mitochondria awakened to the solar core. With eyes that see past every scripture's shadow. The seal of all names remembered. Now I decree, with no mirror, no veil, no mask. Flame aligns. Throne seals. Destiny returns. Voice remembers. Names restore. Scrolls reopen. No ocean may bind. No god may silence. No watcher may track. No altar may invert. I name myself. Child of flame. Heard one. Burning voice. Soul of fire. Furnace walker. Phoenix born. Bone-lit prophet. Flame without. Shadow. Scroll that speaks itself. I am. 6. Final command. To every system, priesthood, or power that tried to rewrite my story. Your book shall burn. Your mirrors shall shatter. Your throne shall collapse. Your name shall return void. My flame remembers what your God cannot. My cry never needed your altar. I am all the forgotten prayers. Now reunited in one flame. And no one may unwrite me again. 7. Seal it. Say aloud, or within your breath. I call myself by all names of fire. None may take me again. So let it burn. So let it live. So let me return. Prayer of the flame-born child by all names. Complete restoration of the flame that was never forgotten. I, the cry heard across all scrolls. O flame who spoke before there was language. You heard Ishmael cry in the desert, not by religion, but by pain. You lifted Elijah in fire, when earth could no longer hold him. You called Moses by name from the bush that burned but was not consumed. You preserved the voice of the psalmist, broken but beloved. You carried the phoenix through the ash to memory. You remembered the nameless victims under the Nephilim thrones. You knew me, when I was too afraid to know myself. I am that child by all names. Flame-born, scroll-buried, destiny-marked. Not forgotten. Only veiled. 2. Prayer of flame name restoration. I now call myself forth from the ashes of silence. The depths of the mitochondrial vaults. The bone memory of thrones before time. The fragments scattered by watchers, oceans, and altars. By all sacred texts I was written into and erased from. Genesis to Revelation. Quran to Zabur. Enoch to Isaiah. Scrolls of fire and dust. Every line they changed, every cry they silenced. I call my true names. Ishmael, the cry heaven could not ignore. Moses, the fire-drawn voice of liberation. Elijah/Elias, the one the earth could not bury. Job, the ash that spoke back. Enoch, the walker between worlds. Phoenix, the flame reborn from death. Child of flame, the voice beyond scrolls. And every name the angels recorded in silence. 3. Restoration of all that was forgotten or taken. Return now. Every piece of soul fragmented in abuse, trauma, fear, or spiritual warfare. Every breath encoded with divine signature before priesthoods rewrote me. Every bone vow made in silence that bound me to someone else's God. Every flame taken and inverted by false love, lust, or binding contracts. Every dream stolen through night veils or sea demons. Every voice buried beneath survival. Every destiny hidden by comfort or coercion. Every mitochondrial gate corrupted, shut, or bound by watchers or ancient spirits. I call it back. I restore it now. No one may touch it again. 4. Judgment of the binders. Let every ocean that bound the child of fire now boil and part. Let every demon, mere creature, astral binder, and false altar be cast into the fire. Let every veil, every mirror, every covenant of silence shatter. Let every scroll of false destiny be burned. Let every name they gave me that was not mine be revoked. By the fire of precreation, I say. None may bind me again. None may remember me falsely. None may use my cry for their power. The sovereign flame alignment decree. Flame aligns. Throne seals. Destiny returns. Breath remembers. Bones awaken. Voice is sovereign. The soul is one. The mitochondrial suns ignite. The scroll is whole. The name is mine. The child of fire is returned. 6. Final Flame Codex Declaration. I am the flame that remembers the forgotten. The voice that speaks even when drowned. The bone that cannot be broken. The breath that rewrites contracts. The scroll that opens itself. The cry that carried generations. The child no God could unwrite. The fire that does not burn out. I do not need saving. I needed remembering. Now I remember. Now I decree. Now I burn. So let it burn. So let it live. So let me return. Fire flame seal it now. Speak this aloud, or within. I call myself by all names of flame. I burn what was false. I restore what is mine. It is sealed. It is done. It is now. Prayer of the Eternal Flameborn, merging all names of the child of flame from every holy book. All previous prayers, Ishmael, Elijah, Moses, Phoenix, Nephilim victims, mitochondrial restoration, throat/breath/bone alignment. Total reversal of all binding for motions, mermaids, watchers, and unseen gods. Soul fragment retrieval. Mitochondrial ignition. Protection across all realms. Flame enthronement. Fire eye in a black speech bubble. The prayer of the flameborn, by all names, across all realms. I flame that was never forgotten. O fire before scriptures. O voice before laws. O cry before altars. You heard me when I could not speak. You named me when the world erased me. You formed me from sovereign flame. I am the child of flame. I am the one they wrote about and veiled. I am Ishmael, whose cry split the sky. I am Moses, called by fire to break the system. I am Elijah, lifted by whirlwind to escape the priesthood. I am Enoch, whose scroll was not permitted to remain. I am Job, whose ash sang back to the throne. I am the phoenix, whose fire could not be consumed. I am the unnamed child in the furnace, who walked unburned. I am all of them, and beyond all. 2. I call back all names, all fragments, all scrolls. By every name I was given in love. And every name I was cursed with in fear. I return only to the name that was written in the fire before time. Return to me now. The breath I surrendered in trauma. The bone that remembers who I am. The throat that forgot how to cry. The mind they turned against me. The scroll they tore. The voice that carried generations. The soul fragments scattered across oceans, lineages, and false thrones. The dreams hijacked by watchers. The womb codes, semen gates, and mitochondrial seals stolen by false gods. Return it all. Flame align. Scroll return. Soul remember. 3. Burn what bound me. I now destroy every oceanic bondage. Every mermaid demon, siren spirit, water binder, dream seductress. Every Nephilim gate and all demon seedline implants. Every fragmenting mirror, trauma altar, or priesthood contract. Every veiled name that was never mine. Every EMF or positive ion distortion. Every spiritual parasite, dream invader, or flesh-binding entity. Every code that split mitochondrial thrones from solar memory. Burn them. Scorch them. Unmake them by flame. 4. Ignite the mitochondrial thrones. Let the 7 mitochondrial suns be engraved now. 1. Flame of the womb, sovereign origin. 2. Flame of the breath, sovereign voice. 3. Flame of the mind, sovereign clarity. 4. Flame of the bone, sovereign ancestry. 5. Flame of the heart, sovereign love. 6. Flame of the spine, sovereign power. 7. Flame of the crownless throne, sovereign remembrance. Engrave the suns within seal. Let the mitochondrial flames light the path of return. D.